One of the most confusing things about product management is that the acronym PM has been used to represent many different roles. Depending on the context, it can mean project management, program management, or product management. And to make things even more confusing, sometimes the words technical and digital are put at the front, which introduces a whole other set of terms. So in this module, we're going to demystify the different terminology behind the acronym, showcasing how these roles are different from each other, and letting you know what to look for in a job description or an interview so you get a true feel for the role you're applying for. Let's start with some definition of these roles. First up, project management. A project manager is a coordination-focused role. They look at a specific project and make sure everything is completed on time, risks are mitigated, and ensuring communication and collaboration between teams. For example, let's say a company wants to implement a customer relationship management tool to better coordinate the sales, business development, and the product group. This is a single project that doesn't really change the product or the strategy, so a project manager makes the most sense to tackle this. The best way to remember project management is that it's a role that tracks progress and helps get things done on time. Next, we have program management. A program manager oversees the outcomes of multiple projects that are tied to a specific higher level objective. For example, a company might have discovered a list of 4 security risks and they need to fix them. They will likely task a program manager to identify all the points of risk in the entire portfolio of their products and back-end services, and lead mitigating those risks across all the relevant teams. In this case, the high-level business outcome is a more secure technology platform, and the work is delivered across many teams. And of note, the product and the product strategy isn't really changing here, hence a program manager makes the most sense. The way you can think of this program manager role is that it's a role that tracks multiple projects working towards the same business outcome. Finally, we have product management. A product manager directly influences the outcome of a product. This role directly leads the product strategy and the feature development. For example, let's say a hotel company has heard from a few large customers that they want to have automatic check-in. The company would likely task a product manager to identify how does this fit into their product strategy, how to prioritize the features that are needed to enable it, and to drive the implementation of the work. Now, the shorthand way to think about product managers is that it's a role that influences the strategic direction of the company and manages the development. Now, as you can imagine, at most companies, there's actually a lot of overlap between these roles. For instance, how do you classify the role for an employee that's leading many products that do different things, or someone who's managing a program across multiple products? This is when we can look into the 4 main aspects of these roles to help differentiate between them. And these 4 aspects are the stakeholders, the strategic influence, the measures of success, and the amount of autonomy that they have. Stakeholders refers to any individual or group that can affect or be affected by the outcome of a project or the success of a business. In most cases, these are customers, external partners, like vendors, and internal executives, aka the business. For project management, the primary stakeholder is going to just be the business. For program management, the primary stakeholder is typically going to be external partners or the business. But for product management, the primary stakeholders are the customers. Next, we have strategic influence. This refers to the proximity to alter the direction of the product or the company. So project managers usually do not influence strategy. They are tactical and they are process-focused. Program managers might provide strategic direction for how to guide multiple projects within their program. But product managers directly set the direction of the product and thereby influence the strategy of the company. And as a note, as a junior product manager, you'll have less influence, but still be accountable to the strategy. And influence generally grows with seniority. The third aspect we have is the measures of success, which refers to how these roles define and track the success of what they focus on. Project managers report on progress toward pre-established goals. They typically do not define success metrics. Program managers, on the other hand, define and measure success of their initiative in support of a broader business outcome. And lastly, product managers define and measure success for their products and how the products drive the business. And finally, the last aspect we have is autonomy. This refers to how much flexibility each role has. Project managers typically have lower autonomy. Goals are laid out for them, and they are meant to drive specific process outcomes. Program managers generally have moderate autonomy. The outcomes are still generally dictated by the business, but how they are delivered is up to the person in this role. But product managers, on the other hand, have high autonomy. Since they are discovering, defining, and delivering new product, they need that flexibility to operate in whichever manner delivers the results. Now that we know how these roles differ, let's look at some key language you'll see in job descriptions so you know what to look for.